Hey guys, Matt here. In lieu of Christmas coming up, a fun yet sick video because it looks like in my notes here I've assembled all the possible relationships that there are known. Maybe you guys could come up with one or two, but this list is pretty comprehensive between Santa and Satan and sometimes Saturn. Now, don't read into this too much. I haven't done years of research looking at the lineage and tying them together and the occult mysteries. No, there's relationship, no doubt, because of these parallels. Where the relationship spawned from, I don't know, and that's not the point here. The point is to deliver a similar message to what I've delivered many times. We live in some sort of script, some sort of realm that plays out with almost impossible synchronicities and coincidence, like the Kennedy to Lincoln, impossible, 1 in a billion parallels. This is similar. And, that's really the purpose here. Not that I've figured out exactly how to tie Satan to Santa, no. But there's too many parallels here for this to be a coincidence. Therefore, something else is going on. So this is sick, but let's have fun with it anyway. Number 1. The most obvious. Santa, spelling, is simply Satan with the N pulled to the end of the word. 2. Santa is known as Saint Nick. Satan's name, among many, is Old Nick. 3. Remember that Christmas is celebrated, if you trace the roots back far enough, it's basically the pagan holiday of Saturnalia on the winter solstice. Of course, Christmas has nothing to do with Jesus' birthday. There isn't a pope or a priest anywhere that could show you one bit of evidence that says what the day tomorrow is Jesus' birthday. It relates to, Yule logs, kissing under a holly tree, cutting down a tree, adorning the tree with silver and gold. All that relates back to Saturnalia. So, not necessarily a Satan reference, but a Saturn reference. And as Levet would say, there is no, there is no surety of exactly how those two relate either. So don't immediately assign Saturn to Satan. Just saying, with the amount of coincidences I'm going to show you here, I don't know what's going on, but something's going on. 4. Satan is known as Prince of the Air. What does Santa do with his reindeer on Christmas Eve? He takes to the air. 5. What color portrays the devil? What color does Santa wear? 6. One of the most famous sayings about Satan is his greatest trick is to make people believe he does not exist. Well, adults around Christmas spend countless hours with their children trying to convince them that Santa does exist when he does not. A parallel, but exactly 180 degrees in the opposite, yet eerily similar. 7. The devil rules over hellfire. Well, how does Santa get into everyone's house? He comes down the chimney being impervious to fire. Is there a story that you can come up with anywhere in the world that says a family has to put the fire out or or pour water over the coals because Santa's coming down? No. They let the fire rage and they know the fat bastard's going to be impervious to the coals and the smoke and the heat. Well, there's only one other creature that could do that in the known universe the way it's described, and that's Satan. 8. What is Santa coming into your house to do? He brings material possessions, right? Well, Satan brings possessions as well. 9. What does Santa do for kids, or what does he do for society as a whole? Santa distracts from what should be the true meaning of Christmas, peace on earth, helping people truly in need. Instead, what does the jiggly jolly little bastard do? He brings in the weapons of class warfare. Material possessions, Xbox, expensive gifts, distracts from the true meaning of what Christmas should be. Now, what would Satan do if he was playing the role of Santa? He would do the exact same thing. Satan would drop off Xbox, a relationship to Saturn perhaps, so kids don't think for a moment about helping the truly needy. 10. What's flying reindeer? That's black friggin' magic. Santa and Satan have a real parallel there. 11. Santa eats your cookies and milk. Well, seems to be a mockery of the Holy Communion. 12. Santa's name is Saint Nicholas. Isn't that also a mockery of the church? He's not an acknowledged saint. What evidence is there of that? What's he the patron saint of then? Santa, the Isle of Misfit Toys? Can one become a saint in the church by just dropping off Xbox and Cartier watches into the home and other material possessions? Now, I'm no expert here, but passing yourself off as a ordained member of the church as a saint when you're not, it's a pretty big sin. Jiggly jolly little bastard. 13. Almost everything about Christmas is of pagan origin. That has a ... tie to Satan, at least from a traditional Christian perspective. There's mistletoe, cutting of trees, Yule logs, decorating trees, making merry, holly bushes, etc., etc., etc. And Christians say pagan worship is of the devil. It's another relationship. Santa, Satan, Saturn. You can all tie them together in some way if you look in the right places. Saturn is the god Kronos, who had a big fat belly because he ate all his children, who were the Greek gods like Zeus, Poseidon, and all the other ones we know. Kronos, Saturn, was later fooled into eating a giant rock that he thought was Zeus, and Zeus later, of course, rescued all his brothers that came spilling forth from Saturn's or Kronos' belly. Now, what does Santa have? A big fat belly. Think about it. Why does the legend of Santa go out of its way to stress he's a fat man? What does that have to do with anything? What does being fat and out of shape have to do with delivering toys on time? It's just another strange coincidence, this time tying in Saturn. Remember from Rudolph? Eat, Papa, eat! Why? Anyway, 15. Santa lives on the North Pole. The most famous characteristic on the planet Saturn is its North Pole. It's a gas storm oddly shaped like a perfect hexagon. Is it a coincidence that the defining characteristic of both Santa and Saturn is its north or the North Pole? Can't ignore that one, can we? The most famous literary work in Christmas history, amazingly, also helps to confirm that Santa is Satan. It's The Night Before Christmas by Clement C. Moore. And that famous poem we all grew up with proclaims, "A wink of his eye and a twist of his head soon gave me to know I had nothing to dread." Proverbs from the Bible 16:30 says, "Whomever winks their eye is plotting perversity." Remember the poem, "A wink of his eye and a twist of his head." Soon had me to know I had nothing to dread. Well, why would you be dreading Santa? What's that all about, Clement C. Moore? Proverbs 16:30, "Whoever winks is plotting perversity." Yeah, Santa is most likely plotting perversity. The image of Christmas in the Western world was undoubtedly shaped by Clement C. Moore in this poem. The Bible tells us directly that Santa, directly through, if you tie what it says in Proverbs to the poem, that he's plotting perversity. When Santa delivers his corporate greed, I'm not aware that Santa has ever entered a child's room and done who knows what, but who knows what the fat bastard is capable of. He's plotting perversity. Parents, you might want to lock the kids' doors tonight. It's my advice. 17. Santa has 8 reindeer. Just coincidentally the number of Saturn. 18. Santa operates only at night, like all evil does. Now, also, a side note here, going back to the Clement C. Moore poem, quote, "His droll little mouth was drawn up like a bow." What the hell does that mean, Clement C. Moore? Proverbs from the Bible 16:30 says, "Whoever purses their lips is bent on evil." Of course we know Santa is bent on evil. The Bible already labeled him a pervert. Is delivering Xbox, Saturn's cube to a little kid ever a good thing? Again from Clement C. Moore. "Up the chimney he rose," Moore states in the poem. Is Santa not a man? Can he not use human legs to climb back up the chimney or use the friggin' door? Moore tells us that this fat man rose up or levitated like some sort of demon, like the Exorcist above her bed. Just use the front door, Santa. What's going on there? Very demonic. Moore also describes him to be a right jolly old elf. Elf? Is he a man or an elf? Well, here we see Santa's not even human. What is an elf? Oh, generally because of Christmas we see it as a friendly little creature, like elves are portrayed as little, in that cartoon, little toy makers who just really want to be dentists. But if you look closely at the legend and lure of elves, many stories, many portray them as dark, evil, creepy creatures. The most recent is the movie Thor, The Dark World. Those jolly little elves only wanted to kill about 1 billion people. So Santa, what sort of elf is he? Probably the dark kind, who is bent on perversity. Now look, that is the list. And, is Santa Satan? Well, I guess in a court of law we might need a little bit more evidence than that. But that is a scary group or list of parallels. Creepy. And, as usual, to me, it just simply, puts forth the notion that we live in some sort of crafted script. Something that is not, really should not get into in this sort of lighthearted video. Thanks for listening. Catch you guys soon.